पूरा दुख और आधा चांद। हिजर की शब और ऐसा चांद। दिन में विशत ढल गई, रात हुई और निकला चांद। किस मक्तल से गुजरा होगा इतना समा समा चांद। यादों की आबाद गली में घूम रहा है तन्हा चांद। मेरी करवट पर जाग उठे नींद का कितना कच्चा चांद। मेरे मुंह को किस हैरत से देख रहा है भोला चांद। इतने घने बादल के पीछे कितना तन्हा होगा चांद। आंसू रोके नूर नहाए, दिल दरिया तंसरा चांद। इतने रोशन चेहरे पर भी सूरज का है साया चांद। जब पानी में चेहरा देखा तूने किसको सोचा चांद। बरगद की एक शाख हटाकर जाने किसको झांका चांद। बादल के रेशम झूले में भोर समय तक सोया चांद। रात के शाने पर सर रखे देख रहा है सपना चांद। सूखे पत्तों के झुरमुट पर शबनम थी या नन्हा चांद। हाथ हिलाकर रुखसत होगा उसकी सूरत हिजर का चांद। सरासरा भटक रहा है अपने इश्क में सच्चा चांद। रात के शायद 1 बजे हैं, सोता होगा मेरा चांद।
We ought to have met, in another time, in pursuit of attainable dreams, below a different sky. Upon a different earth, we ought to have met then, there. Even after so many years, her poetical works remain unmatched. She has defined the sensibilities of several generations and beyond. Her romanticism runs through her poetry. As a prolific poet, she started writing at a very young age. The first volume of her poetry, Khushbu, got great critical acclamation in 1970s. The other volumes of her poetry, Sadi Barg, Inkra, Khud Kilami and Kafia Aina, were also equally popular. Besides her poetical works, Gosha-e Chasham, compilation of her newspaper columns, was also acclaimed. The work Maitamam forms a compilation of her poetical works. Her poetry primarily draws deep influences from Ahmad Nadim Qasimi. She used to call him Amujn, and the first collection Khushbu is dedicated to him. Also, the opening poem titled Sari Shaki Gul Khushbu is also written on him. Parveen is also the first poetess to use English titles for Urdu poems. Her poems Ecstasy, Prism, Catharsis, and Duty have English titles. In a society contaminated by decayed traditions and stifled voices, Parveen Shakir's advent was like a breath of fresh air. Where a large part of the society deems an expressive woman to be immodest, it is not hard to imagine the challenge women must face in voicing their feelings and satisfying their creative impulses. Making her mark as a romantic poet required a great act of courage. Her poetry deeply reflects a feminine perspective on love and what love requires. It talks about beauty, elegance, sacrifice, romance, betrayal, understanding and severance. With unmatched sophistication, she writes about pining with unreciprocated love, committing one's heart to a reciprocated one, and exploring the depths of love after the hour of separation. She often defines a woman who loves with an unparalleled passion and never gets the same love in return. Parveen had her own style and diction that remains matchless with any other poet of Pakistan. Ghazal and freestyle are the only two forms of poetry that she used. Her poetical works mainly reflect the themes of love, gender discrimination, social injustice, feminism, social stigmas and romanticism. Apart from being a romanticist, her works reflect the tranquil concepts of love, beauty and contradiction, along with usage of metaphors and embodiments. She was also the first poet to use a term larky in her works. This unique style of using feminine language is seen rare in the world of a male-dominated Urdu poetry, where a girl is openly talking about something she feels or something that touches her. This gives the most elegant female touch to her work. After Famida Riaz, Parveen was obviously the next Urdu poetess to bring out and sketch an influential feminine voice that was both exigent and engaging to a male-dominated society. This was the area where she created her own forte. As compared to her ghazals, her freestyle work is more about social matters and taboos like gender inequality, gender unfairness, nationalism, sham, prostitution, human psyche and current affairs. Her poetry is characterized by a metrical flow and soulful lyricism. Her expression is a colorful and touching blend of metaphorical and simple language. She is one of those Urdu poets whose works have impressed everyone through her thematic and pragmatic poetry. Her works simply add a new facet to the customary theme of love by presenting it in a simpler yet more transparent style and by using a multiplicity of words and metaphors to express different thoughts with varying intensities. Her works truly define the susceptibility of several generations and reflect an inseparation of poetry and tragedy. The very deep romanticism that radiantly runs in her works shows a subterranean and colossal refinement with an amalgamated melody. Her poetry has also been sung and composed by many singers and musicians. Tasawwur Khanum beautifully sang her poem Tudi Himraneen Magar. Famous band Vital Signs sang her poem Chera in different versions. Tina Sani sang her Sundar Kamal Sapno Ki. Mehdi Hussain sang Kuba Kufulke from collection Khushbu in 1982. Habib Wali sang Gori Karat Singer from her collection Khushbu, later which was performed by Jawad Ahmed as well. Her first book Khushbu won Pakistan's Adamji Award and she was later awarded Pride of Performance. She left us on 26 December 1994 in a car accident. She was, indeed, a great poet. Her poetry is the reflection of many broken hearts. Her poetry defines love in its true sense. Though, today she is not among us but she is still alive in our hearts with her heart-touching poetry. If he be sent, let him not touch me. And pass, until he be part of my existence. The flower hath opened its lips. I shall cleanse his eyelashes with my shawl. So the dust of this day's journey may not enter tomorrow's.